Hi, so this is the first video of 6 in our Getting You Started Shopify DIY video series. And today's goal is to look at simply the anatomy of Shopify so that when you get your free account, you're going to understand what it is you're looking at. Okay, the other 5 in the series will get you from there to actually launching your site. Our goal is to save you a ton of time in mistakes and self-learning. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is actually create your free trial. You can do that by clicking here or clicking here. It'll take you over to Shopify's site and it'll set you up with a free site within about 60 seconds. Once your free site is ready for launch, you'll have an admin interface for your site that'll look something like this. Mine is called test-gc-1, very exciting name. And the front end of your website is going to look something like this. And you can get from one to the other by clicking on this icon here. And when you're in the front end, you can click on the admin link here. Okay, so obviously there's some sample content there, but nothing of any use to us. Some spaces where products are going to go. Okay, so this is your admin, and our goal today is to look around the anatomy of the admin so that you fully understand it. First of all, you've got this section here. These are links that are going to be useful for us during the daily running of our site. They're not very useful for us at the moment because we don't have any products, we don't have any customers, and we don't have any orders. But I'm going to quickly click on them so you can see the options. Orders, you are going to see an empty screen here come up in a minute. These are where your orders are going to show up. Okay, so that's orders. Products. Products contains 2 critical features for us. One is products. This is where we're going to add new products in video 2 of this series. And further down here is collections. Collections are the way that we group products. So most e-commerce platforms would call this categories. In Shopify terminology, we call it collections. And we're going to look at collections in one of the videos later on. Customers, again, it's going to be empty. We don't have any customers, but this is where customers are going to go. You can import customers, and once you've got some customers, you can export customers. But most customers are going to be created by placing orders on your website. Okay, reports. This is where you get a feel for the overall success of your website. You'll start to see what products have grossed the most sales, etc. How many orders this month versus by the hour, etc., etc. Again, not much use without any sales data. Discounts. This is marketing. You can set up discounts for your store in this section once you're up and running. Okay, but before we can get up and running, we've got to create the look and feel of our store. So where do we do that? We do that through this thing called sales channels. And within there, you'll see one live sales channel, which is our online store, which is all that we're going to worry about in this video series. But just so that you know, Facebook has a whole bunch of other ways that you can sell. Shopify, sorry, has a whole bunch of other ways that you can sell the product, including through Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and several other ways. Okay, so we're just going to look at the online store. You can get to there here, but I always use this option. So there are various things that we need to elements of our store, basically. So the theme is essentially the template that the entire store is built on. Okay, in this case, it's a basic one that Shopify provide you with at startup. There are other free themes. So when we visit the theme store, when we look at themes, we'll see that we can select either a different free theme or we can pay for themes. If you do purchase a theme, it's a one-off charge. You are not paying monthly for the theme. Okay, so that's an important point. It's a one-off investment. So probably worth finding a theme that you really want. Blog posts, these are pieces of content that we can create for our website. Blog posts are great because Google loves content. So if we create blog posts, then we're creating content. That content is kept alive because we're consistently creating blog posts. We encourage you to blog in your Shopify site. Okay. Pages. This is other pages are they're not fixed content, but they're much more long-living content. So they're things like your contact us page, your about us page, your shipping and return policies, things that you want to be able to link to across your website, but that live for a reasonably long period of time. Unlike a blog post, which you would write a blog post every week, every 2 weeks, and the older blog post would fall to the bottom. Okay, navigation. Navigation really partners up with collections. When we've created these collections, or what other sites would call categories, Shopify does not automatically create navigation links for those collections. You have to do that manually here. So we will show you in the video on collections and navigation how to do your navigation. Domains. Domains are your website address, your URL that you've probably purchased from a different provider. When you are ready to launch the website, you'll be able to set up the domains. You cannot set up the domains on a trial account. You must have a paid account to set up domains. Okay, and preferences. These are some basic information about your website. So the title of your website, the metadata description, which is what Google will show to users when they search for your website. A way to paste in your Google Analytic tracking if you want to use Google Analytics to create reports on who's come to your website, where they've come from, etc., etc. A Facebook pixel, which is a way to build up a custom Facebook audience of people who have visited your website, so that when you do your paid Facebook ads, you can target it specifically to the people who have already visited your website. And you can put a password on your website if you wish to while you're developing it. I don't really see the point, because no one's going to find this test-gc-1myshopify.com website. Okay, so those are some of your sort of interface elements, if you like, that we're going to have to go through. Okay, so that was under sales channels. Apps. Apps are little extension programs that extend the functionality of Shopify. There are a bazillion apps you can get in the app market. Almost anything that you want to extend Shopify to do, there's going to be one or more apps for it. Please note that apps are typically paid things where you pay an extra fee for, and that payment is always monthly recurring. Or not always, but 99.9% of the time is monthly recurring. There are some free apps, and you almost always get a free trial period of 7, 14 days, whatever, depending on the app. And if you remove the app before the payment is due, you will not be charged for the app. Okay, so those are apps, and we'll try and take a look at those later on. Settings, we're going to take a look at settings when we get to one of the video on settings. But these are basically the things that you need to set up in order for your website to go live. So some general settings, legal name, address of the business, etc., etc. How you're going to collect your payments, and we'll take a look at that specifically, because Shopify does charge a transaction fee unless you are accepting credit cards with Shopify payments. So as a default, we always recommend that you do accept credit cards with Shopify payments, even if you elect to take credit cards in a number of other ways as well, simply to avoid the transaction fee. There's some settings for the checkout. There are your shipping options that we have to set up. There are some tax issues that we have to look at for collecting sales tax. There are the emails that customers receive automatically from the website that you can edit if you should so wish. There's a gift card setup. Now, the lowest Shopify account, the $29 account, which is probably what you will start with, does not include gift cards. So it's there on a trial, but it won't be there in reality. And that's the same with the reports here as well. Okay, so back to settings. Files, these are like PDF documents, or if you're selling some sort of downloadable content, and some basic account information. One of the things in the basic account information, apart from adding your credit card to be billed by Shopify, is at the bottom is how you can actually cancel your account or pause it for a smaller monthly fee. Okay, so that is the basic anatomy of Shopify, and this is what the basic front end looks like at the moment. In the next video, we're going to look at adding some products to this so that we're starting to get something live on our front end.